So in this video, we are going to practice solving by completing the square. We've got 2x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. So the first thing we have to do is factor and move our c value over. So we're going to factor, we're going to factor the 2x squared plus x. That's going to factor to be 2 times x squared plus 1/2 x. Remember, we always factor out the a regardless if we end up with a fraction. That is going to equal, we have a -3 here, so we're going to add it to the right side and we get +3. Now, the next step is to complete the square. So I'm going to do that off to the side. So remember, to complete the square, we do b over 2 squared. Now in this case, our b, use a new color, is the 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 1/2. Now instead of dividing by 2 like this, because that looks really weird and confusing, you can instead multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 1/2. So then 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, we have it squared. Now simplifying, 1 squared is 1, 4 squared is 16. So this is our completed square. So what we're going to do with this, highlight it in pink, is we're going to add it into our parentheses. So now we've got 2 times x squared plus 1/2 x. This is where the completed square goes. So we have plus 1/16. Close your parentheses. That is going to equal. Now the 3 is still on that side. We want to keep it balanced. So, I don't know, we use orange to highlight now. So this, remember, is not 1/16. It's technically 2 times 1/16. So what we have to do on the right side is make sure we add 2 times 1/16. Okay? And I'll just go back to simplifying. So on the left side I can factor if I would like to. We're going to have 2 times, this is going to factor to be x plus whatever b divided by 2 was, which remember was just the 1/4. So x plus 1/4 squared. That is going to equal, now what I'm going to do is get a common denominator. Now before I do that, I want to simplify this. So the 2 is going to cancel because 16, or 2 divided by 16 is going to end up being 1/8. Now because my denominator is 8, I want this denominator to be 8, which means 3 times 8 is 24. So my 3 is now going to change to be 24/8. I'm simply doing that because now I can combine these. That's how you add and subtract fractions. So rewriting my equation, I have 2 times x plus 1/4 squared equals, on the right side, go back to purple, 24 plus 1 is 25. I have 25/8. Now we want to continue solving for x, and we've got this 2 in the way. So what I'm going to do to cancel out the 2 is multiply by 1/2. So these cancel. To multiply by 1/2 on my right side as well. My next line is going to be, I'm just going to switch to the same color, I'm using a lot of colors in this video, to x plus 1/4 squared. And then 25 times 1 is 25. 8 times 2 is 16. Now the next step is to take the square root of both sides. So we're going to take the square root of the left side so that these cancel. We're going to take the square root of the right side, which I can separate into just numerator and denominator if I want to, which I personally feel like doing. So then I am left with x plus 1/4. Because we took the square root, we know we have plus or minus. Square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 16 is 4. Now I can subtract 1/4, so x equals negative 1/4 plus or minus 5/4. And then I can separate it into two equations. So I've got negative 1/4 plus 5/4, and x equals negative 1/4 minus 5/4. So then x equals negative 1 plus 5 is negative, oh, just kidding, silly me, it's positive 4. 4 divided by 4 simplifies to be 1. So x equals 1 is one of my answers. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. And negative 6 over 4 reduces because 6 and 4 are both divisible by 2. So this is going to be negative 3 halves. And that's our final answer. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.